Hi, Steph.
I'm Mark.
How's your voice?
What voice?
Oh my God, you sound so froggy.
Yeah, it's completely shot.
Stay co-host. All right. Let me open this up and see about share screening. Okay, we have, it looks like a big meeting. We'll see how many people show up.
Yeah, I don't get too excited yet.
Haha.
I would wait up till sharing screen until we have everybody here.
Right. 5 people entered.
Most of them are presenters.
Yeah, Amanda Davis is not a presenter. Maria, some are not.
Zoe and Dahlia.
Admit all. Is it time? Should I let them in? Yeah, right.
If you'd like to, sure. Hi.
Okay. Hi. All right. Announce a non-run. Yes, slow down. Okay.
Mario, you're sharing we have the Zoom options open.
Oh, I'm sharing already. I gotta stop that. Okay. Stop. Hi, everybody. Hi, Lara, Zoe,
Hi, how are you?
Maya, and hi, Amanda.
Hi.
Hey, everyone. I
Maria's here
apologize
with
for
us.
my throat.
Oh, no, sorry to hear that.
Okay. We might have a lively audience.
Yeah, I think a
Well,
good.
Maria, you're unmuted, just so
Hopefully.
you know.
All right, I muted her.
It was her.
It was Maria.
Okay.
I think
So,
I usually wait till like at least 5 after 7 to start, just to give stragglers a chance to come in. Um,
no, good. I'll give me a chance to have a little coffee and get ready.
Lara can't seem to unmute. Let's see.
You could
Lara.
try leaving and coming back in.
Lara, someone said to log out and try to come back in.
Here's a reminder. Garbage night.
Okay.
Mario, here's your reminder.
Lara said yes.
Garbage night.
Okay, so let me
I'm letting
pull up my
Curtis in.
screen.
Ugh. All right.
Where is my
You're what?
oh, my Zoom windows? I have a big screen open. I gotta find you guys.
10,000 tabs
Found
open.
you.
Mario.
Found you. Got you. Hi, Curtis.
Hi everyone. I had a
Okay.
little procedure, so my eyes don't look so great. I don't want to gross
Oh,
everything out unless you want to be.
you
No.
look pretty cool though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Close everybody.
Good.
I've been better. I'm not feeling pretty good.
Oh, sorry, Steph.
Yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
my voice is completely shot. I usually run these things, but I'm gonna let Mario run with
Yeah, it'll be a
it today.
pleasure.
Yeah, because I have to save up my voice to do my own presentation,
Oh,
or
Okay.
whatever I can squeak out.
right.
We'll start in a few minutes. Here's Zach. Okay. And then let's see here. I want to go on to this.
Oh, Zach was in my. Hi, you guys. You guys were in my workshop.
Yes, yes.
Cool.
Yeah, they were
Oh, I
both in
remember
my
you.
workshop. How are you?
Good. How are you? How are you?
I'm not well, but I'm here.
It's definitely going around.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of
people
people
are
my
down
story.
this week. It's really, really bad. Everyone I talk to has something or knows somebody who
Mhm,
had it.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Right. It's open.
Mario, do we have all the presenters here?
I
Oh,
will,
yeah.
I think, let me take a good, quick look and. Oh, somebody, Zach and Andre, thank you for joining us. I know they're at Material for the Arts. They just can't get
Oh,
enough.
wow.
Uh,
Love that
More
place.
art. More art.
Right
Not
on.
enough from 8 to 3.
Right
I'm
on.
scheduled to go in 2 weeks. I'm excited.
Oh, sorry.
Why
Hold
is this open? Why is this open? I have something blocking my window. Hold on. Hmm. I don't know what it is. It's like the weather or something. I hate these
Mhm.
pop-ups. Uh, okay.
Okay.
Am I gone? Am I here? Okay. I believe we have Lara, Andre, and Zach. Jessica Sinclair, their second page. Is she with us?
Jessica is not here.
All right. Delilah's here. Stephanie.
Dahlia.
Oh, sorry, Dahlia. Um, Zoe and myself. Okay, so really we're just missing Jessica, and hopefully she'll join us shortly. And if not, this is a great start. Um, if I share screen, let's see if it will work. All right. Which screen do I want to share? I want to share. You can see me do a bunch of stuff here, right? Correct.
We picking baby names, Mario?
Huh?
The screen that popped up said 20 baby names.
No, it's supposed to be Facebook. What happened to it?
I don't know.
All right. Is that up now?
Yes.
Facebook?
Yes.
All right. All right. So welcome to, I just wanted to bring up our flyer. Thank you, Stephanie does a great job of designing them for each workshop. Very briefly, if Stephanie has a sore throat and we want to conserve her energy and voice power, but let me explain. Thursday Night Art Club was something that was suggested to us by Stephanie when she was just teaching art as a member and a UFT member. And we ran with it, and she's been doing a fantastic job. There's a YouTube channel that actually is recording this. This will be up on YouTube after this is finished in a day or so. And all the art lessons that people present. I've presented an art lesson in the past. I know several of you, when you talk, if you're presenting yours as a full session, you could tell us more about that. And in the full session, you would have the 7 to 8:30 slot to actually go and do your lesson and have it taped and have and share it with other interested teachers. But today we kind of have a potpourri of art experiences. We are all have one thing in common. We were all up in Albany a few months ago, and we shared some bread, we had some drink, and more importantly, we shared knowledge with other teachers throughout the state, and but maybe not with each other because we were at other workshops and other stuff. But this is a chance as part of the program we do through the UFT that UFT teachers can now share in the budget that we have for conferences to get stipends to attend, that we would have time to talk and discuss amongst ourselves and also share out some ideas. Melissa or Karen Rosner both expressed interest in joining us. I give you their greetings from the region, which is the New York State Art Teachers Association. And we work jointly together. And sorry we can't sponsor everybody who participates, but we are sponsored by the UFT, so our UFT membership is the prerequisite there. So without further ado, maybe we could just go around. Everybody can say who they are and their affiliation, their school, and what they're going to present, and then we could pick an order of who'd like to go first, who needs to go first, and go on from there.
Mario,
So-
do you want to let us all see each other again?
I'm
before-
going back to the Hollywood Squares. Kathy, I want to thank people who were not presenters. Feel free to put your cameras and mics on and join in the conversation. If you were at Albany and you want to share some experiences for that, let us know as well. But let's begin. Let's go around. I know we're all in different orders, so I'll pick somebody and then that person could pick the next person. Stephanie, why don't you start?
Oh, okay. Hi. Excuse my voice. It's really at its worst right now. I woke up without it this morning. So I am a high school teacher in New York City, Jamaica, Queens specifically. I have been teaching for 21 years, and I've done everything from studio arts to graphic design to fiber arts and even the dreaded yearbook advisor. And I've had a million hats. I still love teaching. I love sharing with other art educators from all over. And when I started this club, I took it for granted that everybody was in New York. And then I quickly realized that we are all like-minded, and we are one tribe, and we are worldwide, because I have gotten lots of people coming into the club from the other side of the planet, as well as the middle and other side of this country. So it's been a fantastic resource for networking and meeting people from all over the place. And then when you go to all these conferences, it's fantastic when everybody shows up in person and you realize that everybody's real. Like, they're not just a face on the screen. And it's great to exchange knowledge and ideas and experiences. So this has been an incredibly rewarding adventure for me, and I'm glad that it continues. Oh, I get to pick the next person. Okay.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Okay, so Dahlia, since I've never met you before, it's on to you. Hi.
Hey, I'm Dahlia Schoenberg Lamb, and I work at PS 28, which is in Corona. I teach pre-K to second grade, and teaching was a change of career for me. I started off as a graphic designer and an illustrator, and then I was an ESL teacher for many years, and then for the last 4 years, I've been working as an art teacher, and for this year, I'm doing mostly art and a little bit of ESL. So one of the things I really like is to combine my background with ESL into all the art lessons and do vice versa, art into ESL. And I'm happy to be here and share and collaborate.
Thank you. What was your workshop? Can you just give us
Oh, sorry. So my workshop, it's titled My Corona, and it's basically about students using their neighborhood as a vehicle for creating art because we are in Corona, and it's basically making a group collage, including homes.
Well, hold on, don't tell us all now.
Sorry,
We're gonna give you your own 5 to 10 minute platform to really share with us.
Okay, well, nice to meet everybody.
Thanks so much. Stephanie, you had two workshops. You're amazing. What are the titles?
The first one was foil baskets, trivets, and coasters, which was a lot of fun. And then I also presented stress dolls in an extended workshop where everybody got to sew and make and play for almost 3 hours, which was really great.
Well, great. You will have to tell us when it's your turn what an extended workshop means and how you get to do one and how you apply and if there are other challenges involved. That's great. All right. I'm sorry, Dahlia. Who are you choosing to speak next?
Curtis.
Oh, hi there. Thanks, Dahlia. Hi, I'm Curtis Witt. I'm the art teacher, PS 11, Highbridge in the Bronx, the #1 school in the Bronx, or at least that's what our former principal said. I had a little, in case you didn't know, I had a little procedure, so I'm pretty yucky unless you really want to see. So I presented magic paper, and I had a magical time. I think everybody had a magical time. We used basically strips of cardstock paper and other pieces of cardstock paper, and we threw in a lot of science like balance and symmetry and weight, and combine that with a lot of minimalist art, among others, and famous architecture. And we had a blast. I had a super great time. I am an artiste, went to the Harvard Art School. I'm a exhibiting artist, mostly in New York, and also a performer. I also had a career change. I was well, a working artist, and I still am, but making an income, and that is, well, a little challenging for most of us. So I had to kind of pivot around and, well, balance what I do, what my two loves. So I feel great being part of this community, and I'm very eager to share what we did.
Thank you. Thank you, Kurt.
Thank you.
And who do you pass the baton to?
Oh, okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe. I want to hear from the New York City art teacher of the year. I'd love to hear what Lara has to say.
Hi, Lara.
Hi.
Hmm.
My name is Lara Tyson. I teach at PSMS 161 up in Harlem. I've been there for 16 years. It was my first time at Nysata this past year. It was great. I love the idea of community and getting to, meet teachers across the state. And even in the city, I feel like, honestly, you're really isolated in your own room. And so it's always nice to meet other colleagues in the field and get to discuss different things with them. So I think this is a great platform. Thank you.
Thanks. And Lara, your workshop was called?
Oh, sorry. My workshop was called Native American Inspired Clay Sculpture.
Great. And who do we want to hear from next?
Zoe, because I met her at Nysata and we went to the same high school.
Where is Zoe?
Hi.
Oh, hi, Zoe. You're right next
Hi.
door.
Thanks, Laura. Yeah, we both went to LaGuardia. It was so nice to meet you there in person. That was really cool. My workshop was called Creative Reuse and Sustainability. And it was my first Nysata conference as well. And like many of you, I also have had different positions over the years. So I started off as a special education teacher for the first 6 years of my teaching career. And then went back to school to get a second master's in art education, and then made that switch and have been teaching art this is my 3rd year teaching art now.
It's not an evening. It's an opportunity. Care to elaborate?
Maria, I think your volume is on.
Financial possibilities. It can be
Meeting.
whatever you choose to make it. So,
I see.
Yeah, there was one more question. Oh, I teach at PS 396 in the Bronx, which is a Nest school. So it's really nice to combine special education background with the art education. Yeah, thank you so much. It's so
Thanks,
nice.
Zoe. It was a pleasure meeting you at the conference.
Yeah, it was so nice.
Such great to see fresh, new energy. 3 years. I wish I was back to those early days and start over.
Do you really, Mario? Do you really?
Well, yeah, I guess I'd be younger.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, then Zoe, who will you pass the baton to?
I'm passing it to Jessica.
Hey, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Sorry, I'm a little rusty with the Zoom. Hi guys, I am Jessica Sinclair. I am a digital art teacher at Lower Manhattan Community Middle School down by Wall Street, like the Battery Park area. And I'm sorry, I missed like what the questions were. I'm guessing I say a little bit about myself and then what
Your name, what school, and the name of your workshop, and
Okay.
then we'll get everybody will have more time to speak about their workshop in particular.
Great, great. So as I said, I'm a digital art teacher at Lower Manhattan Community Middle School. This is my 22nd year. At that school, I think I'm there 8 years. I've been at a few different schools from the Bronx to this is my first Manhattan school. And I have been to Nysata before. I've actually presented at Nysata in the past. I've presented at NAEA as well. But it's been a minute. So my presentation was called Inspiration the Middle School Digital Art Room. And I just kind of focused on some just a brief like overview of like what I do inside of a digital art classroom.
Wonderful. And I believe we should hear Zach. Can you hear us? Because Zach is at Material for the Arts as we speak. Our man on the spot, reporting from Material from the Arts. Zach, just introduced you and Andre. What a great team, and we'll take. Okay, we can't hear yet. We cannot hear you.
You might have to adjust your audio setting. It's the little caret next to the mute button.
Wait. All right. Zach and Andre, you can hear me, right? Give me a thumbs up if you hear us. Do you hear us? Thumbs up? Yes? All right. Why don't you see about maybe going in and out and work on your microphone? And then, thank you. Okay. So we heard from all the presenters. I'll end up at the end, but I do see Sasha, Maria, and Michelle, and Kelly. Thanks for joining us in our conversation tonight. I hope you learned something and share with us briefly your name, where you teach, and so on. And were you at the conference? Maybe you were there and somehow missed you. So, all right, they're connecting to audio. I'm going to say with Kelly. Why don't you start us, Kelly?
I'm Kelly. I teach actually in Wisconsin. So I'm one of those weirdos that just kind of stumbled upon you guys, and
Well, that's
I've
great.
kind of been
Wow.
with you for what, three years, I think. Well, since COVID, basically. So
4 years.
almost
4 years.
4. So I've
And
just been kind of hanging out there.
You're a regular at Art Club, you would say.
I
Yeah.
have been, yeah.
Fantastic. I love everybody who shows up there. And really, every time there'll be, if you're on Stephanie's mailing list, you'll get the lesson, and then you can just decide if you want to join that night. It's all casual and fun, and it's really no worries about administrators or rubrics. Just have fun and just tell everybody what works great for you and share it.
Right.
Kelly
And
actually
then-
just did a workshop for us a few weeks ago. I
Yeah.
forgot the name of the thing. I know it's the Danish straw.
Finish. I
finish.
did finish Himily. So yeah. I'm like in the middle of nowhere, so I'm like a teacher on a definitely my own little island. So I'm the only teacher in my entire county.
Well, now you got New York on your side. Don't worry, we're here for you.
Got you.
I'm going to come down to Sasha. I see you, Sasha, and then Michelle is waiting. Hi, Michelle. Sasha, hi. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello. I'm also one of those COVID-esque teachers. I'm out of Virginia.
Welcome.
I've been here for a few years. I teach at Manchester Middle School. I've been a teacher about 4 years now. I teach middle school art. And this year I also help with the gifted program with art, and I do a little bit of theater art as well. Sorry if you hear any noise. I have my 7-year-old and 2-year-old in here. I'm on mommy duty, and a lot of the others have also met my loud ones. So you might see a foot or something. That's them.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us, and thanks for being part of the art club community. Hey,
Of course.
Michelle, are you also visiting from faraway places? Hi.
Uh-oh, we have another. Can't hear you.
Oh, wait.
Nope.
All right.
You have headphones?
Listen, keep trying, and the minute you can actually say something that we hear, we'll all stop and tell you you're on it. All right. Is Maria Eanes? Are you there, Maria? Your mic is off and your camera's off. So calling Maria.
Hi, sorry, I had audio issues earlier. I had to reboot my computer in order to get it. And I'm in New Hampshire. I teach high school art, and I also do after-school art programs, middle and elementary school. So I'm trying to get as much information as I can out of this group because I've learned that as art teachers, we all always like to share our experiences, and I'm hoping to do the same. You know,
Great.
maybe we can all get something from each other.
Thank you for joining us. That's
Oh,
great.
thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Want to go back to Michelle? Michelle, you think you've solved it?
No.
All right, you could try going in and out and see if that solves. Otherwise, maybe let's see if Zach and Andre, have you solved your audio issues?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes. Hi.
Yay.
all
right,
dynamic
so
duo. Go ahead.
yeah, I guess we'll talk quickly just in case it stops working. So I'm Zach.
I'm Andre. We both teach in New York City.
We are at Materials for the Arts right now. There's actually a nude figure drawing thing going on, so we stepped away from it because there was a lot of noise and excitement. So we are currently on an aisle with a lot of jewelry and beads and costumes. We presented a workshop at Nysata that focused on creating art installations. So it was because that's something that we have done and collaborated on together outside of school. We've done it, which we'll tell you more about in the presentation. And we wanted to bring kind of this art installation methodology to Nysata. We had a really great time.
That's great. And I know you guys are going to be kind of reporting from the spot. When do you see a best time for you to, when do you see the best time for you guys to actually present? Do you want to just go first, or do you want me to come back to you when you're ready, when it's a lull?
First would be great if that's at all possible.
Okay, and you're able to share your own screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's see if that works. We'll just go, Michelle. I still think you're struggling, right?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Hey, we can hear you.
I'm green, I can tell. I'm actually one of those weirdos too. I have no idea how it happened upon y'all, frankly. I'm originally from Ohio, but I live in Texas. I've been an art teacher for 26 years. I also taught in Louisiana for a while I actually went to college for an art education degree in Ohio, and then moved to Louisiana where they made me be a reading teacher for a couple of years, and now I've been in Texas now for 21 years. So I teach elementary, and just happened upon y'all, and
Wonderful.
I'm here whenever I can be. So thank you.
Glad you joined us tonight. You're going to get a little potpourri of the workshops that we did, a very little quick taste. And then some people will be presenting them as full workshops. And if you have questions, or any of you for any of the people presenting, I'm sure that you can follow up with them. My brother is in Austin. I'll be seeing him in next week. So I don't know what part of Texas you're in, but
Just south.
Are you in Austin by any chance? Houston.
Houston.
Anyway, so we're ready to begin. The format is quite simple. I think I gave everybody host the screen sharing capabilities. I will look at it's 7:30. We ideally we have an hour, and I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 60 minutes, an hour. If I say, what is that? 7 is a good number. Look at, I said between 5 and 10. So if we could keep it maybe towards 6, 7, that should give everybody enough time. And then if there's time at the end, obviously we can have discussion, or, and have some time to chat. And if there's any, and leave room for questions if anybody has questions during the workshop.
Are you setting a timer? Or do you want me to?
Oh, that would be great. I'm no good at that. I haven't really formally introduced myself. I'm Mario Asaro. I don't know how, by default or somehow, I became chair of the New York City Art Teachers Association for the United Federation of Teachers. I've been with that organization since I became a teacher. I was very interested in the union, and I decided to see how my dues can work. And what I found out is that there were professional committees that allowed us to advocate and collaborate with our peers. And I've been doing that ever since. And so that's my creative outlet, arts advocacy, it seems like, organizing and doing things like this and getting people together. I hope to go back to teaching drawing, which I did for 33 years at the Department of Ed, middle school. I have this fantasy of I've hoarded some materials and starting a little drawing class for a couple of teenagers or 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 11-year-old in that area. Go to the supermarket like people have piano lessons. Well, maybe I could get a group of 5 or 6 kids whose parents want them out of the house once a week and they like to draw. And I could, that's basically drawing would be easy because that's my ideal, what I've taught best and what I've prepared kids for high school for 33 years and would love to continue doing that. But in the meantime, Nysata keeps us busy and you're all members in whether you participate all the time or just kind of pop in once in a while. Our membership is open to all through the generosity of the UFT. And we have an exhibit that you can submit 10 of your student works. I'm sorry for out of towners. I think it's New York City schools, the 5 boroughs. You can submit one of your own work. It's a virtual exhibit that will be hosted on our website. That deadline is in April. It's on our website. I think you all know how to find us at nycata.com. Our Facebook page, even if you hate Facebook, it's a great idea to join the community. You don't have to share anything or put pictures of your cats or what you ate. You could just talk about art and art education only. And that page is dedicated just to the art education community. It's about 800 people at this point. So please find us on Facebook. It's all on our website, the links and everything. And we have a new person who's doing our Instagram, which I have no clue how it works or what it is. No, I don't know what it is. And we're active on that again. So a lot of our stuff is up there. So do find us, participate in any way you like and you can. Obviously, doing a workshop is a great thing, and we'll offer you to do them often. And again, if you have the ability to do a national workshop as a UFT member, it's a similar, if the budget gets approved, we would then try to make stipends just at least to pay for the registration, which is about $200 to $250 range, which is better than nothing. Usually we find out we've been approved way after the deadline to submit a workshop. So it's kind of a bonus. You submitted your workshop, you got accepted, let us know. And once the budget comes through, we'll let you know. And we can even have a fun get together and allow us to buy us all a drink and have some snacks, thanks to the region, as that was fun for the party that we had at the conference. So keep that in mind for national if you can, but definitely for state, we'd love to grow the community and see more and more people there each year. Okay, so Zach and Andre, they presented time travel, inspiration and imagination. They're going to actually take us on that journey now. And so Steph will
Yes.
set a timer. We'll go
Yes.
at 7, Steph, and then we'll give a little warning and we'll go from there. Okay.
All righty. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, awesome. Oh, it says only the host can share in this meeting.
I'm going to change that now then, if I would like to see how. Multiple partitions, advanced sharing option,
I
Oh,
just
okay,
made them
great.
co-hosts.
all
So
participants can now share.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Screen.
I'm not sharing, I realize. Okay, I'm not sharing.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Can you see
No, right
anything?
now we just see all the boxes, all of us.
Oh, okay, good. All right, here we go. All right. Can you see the slides?
No. No.
No. Okay, great. Okay. I haven't really done it on the phone before. All right, let's try it again. Share. Screen. Start. Okay. Wait, just I don't know why it's on. Okay. I guess. Okay.
Not yet.
Present on this device.
Do you want to share your presentation with someone else and maybe someone else can share it?
What's on the screen now?
Your name.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not really helpful.
Why, yeah, if you put the
I
link.
did. Yeah, I could just put the link in the chat. Does that sound good? And then you could kind of look along with it.
Does
Sure.
it share with the meeting?
Yeah.
Well, then one of us can share it. Right from the
Okay,
chat.
I shared it with Mario, and I am going to. Yeah, I shared it with Mario.
I have it, but if it's possible, put it in the chat. Otherwise, I'd have to go back into my emails.
Yeah. Give me one sec. Sorry.
Love
Change.
technology.
Anyone with the link can open. Copy. Okay, sorry. Here we go.
See if it appears in the chat.
That. There we go. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna click it. See what happens. Okay.
Yeah, so you should be able to open it.
Yeah. Okay, I got it now, and then I'm going to go to back to Zoom.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of
I'm going
narrate
to-
through or we'll just narrate through
Okay.
because everybody can see it.
Can you all see
So-
it now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so if you go to the second slide, it says time travel, inspiration, and imagination, and you see the picture of Andre and I.
Hold on.
So like we
Now.
said at the beginning, we've been presenting some art installations out with the public, and we've been experimenting with like different forms of empathetic listening, and using art making as a tool for discussion and building community. So if you scroll down to the fourth slide,
Okay.
where it says 14th Street Y and Shishama, Queens Public Library, there's 3 pictures in there, and those are pictures of just the interactivity happening. So you could see on the left.
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Oh, sorry.
The next one.
Perfect. That's one, exactly. So you can see, I don't know if you want to speak about it a little bit or.
No, go ahead.
So basically those just show us in action. So on the left, it's at 14th Street Y, and you see people interacting with the saran wrap. And the idea is we would have people stand on both sides of clear plastic material and paint or draw something that they appreciate about the person. So those are just 3 examples of installations that we've done out in the world.
Yeah, so that first installation is basically 2 poles, 2 volleyball poles with saran wrap wrapped around it to make a transparent wall for the participants to be able to see each other and have conversation while art making.
Are they actually painting the reflection of the person on the other side?
Yes, so you can paint them, you can trace them, you can add to it. So what's for me, what's very funny about that photo on the left, there's a dad sitting on the ground and his kid is just like painting on him. On the other side, like painting doing like a rubbing of him on the other side. And it was, I guess the paint was cold and he was tickling, so he was just like laughing the entire time. And the kid is about 3 or 4 years old, so that was fun. And it's people of different ages will do different things. So this that photo doesn't show you like the entire day, right? So that's like one snapshot, because whatever spaces are empty, folks come along and add to it. As you can see, that's happening in the middle photo, where we set up a tent at Shishama, an art gallery opening, and we invited the public to, what did they talk about?
We gave prompts about like relationships.
Right.
I think like we use these playing cards that people use to get to know like someone that they're dating, and we put them on CDs. And the whole idea was it was just another way to use art to make an installation with the public, but also to spark discussion. So we kind of wanted to take our practice that we've been working on of creating installations to Nysata. So if we skip ahead a little bit more, I do have to.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Where am I going?
The next slide that has pictures on it.
Okay, now what kind of paint do you find works best on Saran wrap?
Very good question. Prang washable paint. So Dollar Tree, like these little bottles of Prang, they wash off the best of clothing, and they kind of look the most clear on the Saran wrap.
They
And
adhere to
when you have little kids out, parents appreciate paint that washes off. When you bring your kid out to the public and they get really messy, you want to go home and know that laundry is okay.
Okay, so we're at the next pictures here, Zach.
Oh yeah, so just fast forwarding, these are some pictures from the workshop at Nysata. So essentially what we did, just because I don't want to run out of time, what we did was we gave people an overview of like our work, and we gave them discussion prompts, and then we gave them a working definition of art installation, which is basically, we said, to summarize, like a three-dimensional piece that uses multiple mediums. So we brought a lot of materials. We had people interview someone. Oh wait, let's go back here. Just a moving to make. We had people interview each other, and then based on that interview, we started to create an installation of inspiration, because the questions centered around it. So
tell them about the question.
So the questions were basically.
Well, tell the story about when you became an art teacher or decided to become an art teacher. Like, where were you? Who was involved? What was the situation at that time?
Yes, exactly. And the idea is that people were recreating someone else's moment of inspiration. So like Andre and I were partnered in it, just with how it worked out. So I created an installation piece of what inspired Andre to go into meditation. And I created we just had paper plates, and I wrote down some quotes from Thich Nhat Hanh, because he mentioned that. And then I created some flowers out of pipe cleaners. So that was what I did. And then somebody else recreated like someone's basement, because that was a place where she like would basically play make-believe with her brother. And so like they recreated like that setting for her, because that was a moment of like joy and happiness and playfulness and fun. Yeah, and we really enjoyed being able to present at Nysata. Like I learned a lot. It was just great to like bring kind of that practice in. And we really enjoyed being able to learn from like so many other people.
Thank you, Andre and Zach. That was great. You guys did it under pressure and a foreign correspondence. And I was showing your the lesson while you were speaking. I think people got the idea. They saw the prompts and the question. Sounds like a great workshop. Do you guys think you're going to be replicating it or moving on to different, or you think of presenting again in the future?
So I think when we do our projects, I like to begin with a group meditation, where I ask people to contemplate compassion for each other. Then Zach has something, his portion is called Mapping Memories, where we explore a theme or a topic. So that's where we practice empathetic listening. And then those two experiences then lead to some kind of art practice. So the art practices will evolve. They're not always going to be saran wrap or clear tents. But there will be different things, going in the future. But the whole idea is like having the experience together and then making something for the other person that you encounter in whatever setting we do it in.
The process,
whether we do it in the park or public library, school, Nysata. Yeah,
exactly.
Fabrics.
Stephanie, how did we do on time, by the way? Did we go way over?
Perfect. No, it just ended.
Wow.
Yay, okay, thank
Pretty
you.
good at this.
Yeah.
I love the way you say Nysata. And, I always like seeing you guys. I hope you continue coming to conferences. It's always great. You know, any excuse to do some pedagogical work and some, some work on art, and also a great excuse to just relax and hang out and get to know each other as people. That's fantastic. I hope to continue
Absolutely.
you guys sharing with us. And thanks for being part of Nysata, Nykata, and the UFT. That's something we could all be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you for everything you do.
Well, thanks.
Thank
I
you.
have a
It's a
poker
lot of
game
work
after
that you.
this. I have a poker game starting at 9:30 on Zoom if anybody's. Okay. How do we decide who goes next? Is there anybody with urgency that they need to go? I'd like people to stay for the conversation. It's like when you go see your friend's band, and then the minute the band is over, everybody leaves, and the other people left are the people from the other bands. And then at the end, the poor last band is the only band there. And I'd like people to try to stay till 8:30. But I did see a quick hand. Lara, was that your hand that raised like almost instantly?
Yes, I'd love to go next.
We cannot deny our art educator of the year. Lara, I did send you a picture to the New York teacher. And I always never know what they put in, but I put a little blurb and your picture, and who knows, if you show up in our union paper, then you'll know why. But you did a great
Thank
job,
you.
and I'll give you the floor. Stephanie's going to set the clock. Why don't Stephanie give it like a little ding or warning at 5 or 6? That way we'll know. And we'll go. Great. Lara, you could share your screen, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to warm up my coffee. I'll be right back.
Okay. Do you see it?
Yes. Well, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So my presentation was Native American inspired clay sculpture. I did this unit a few different times. I've done it mostly focusing on coil pots. I've done it with my 8th graders, with my 3rd graders, and the most recent one, which is what I'll be talking about, is clay sculptured inspired hands, inspired by this artist. This is the artist Chanupa Chanupa, excuse me. And he's an amazing Native American artist. He has a really great video on Art 21 that talks all about his process and a lot of the new work that he's doing. There are great resources, part of Art 21, that give you discussion questions. I personally like to do the kind of 50 questions with my students. So every student has to come up with a question about the artwork. On this link is a virtual exhibition showing this exhibit, New Myth, which features these kind of like sci-fi robotic looking arms. And so that's what the students discussed. We talked about what they noticed, what they think he's trying to say. And we talked a little bit about his process and the material. And they also got to watch the video on Art 21, which is like an interview of him. After the students do a discussion, they work in their sketchbook. So they'll sketch out the art they want to make. Like I said, with my 8th graders, the first time I did it, we were focused more on coil pots, but then of course people wanted to do different things. And then most recently, I only focused on hands. The students sketch their hands in interesting positions. They can add an object. We focus on including different details. So there is a little bit of observational drawing, but my recent 8th graders struggle a lot with drawing. So we really jumped right into the sculpture, which was great. It was super engaging. We talk about what is clay. I show them different videos. These are potters of San Marcos, a town in Mexico. And these women are making traditional hand-shaped pots without using a potter's wheel, which is a really cool video to see them take the clay from the riverbed, dry it in the sun. It's really awesome. I go over clay vocabulary. I go over clay sculpting techniques. And then the first day is just kind of experimenting with clay. We go over how to make different shapes. We go over how to use slip. And this is all done with air dry clay. So there's no need for a kiln. It all dries in, a day, something like that. And then for some students that need a little bit of extra practice, I have them first start with Play-Doh before we get into the really messy stuff. These were some examples of the coil pots that my 8th graders made. This was my advanced class, and they did a lot of additive sculpture to it as well. And these are examples of the 8th graders when they were just focused on sculpting the hands. Well Bond is this great glue that you definitely need to get if you're using air dry clay, because pieces will fall off. It's just not as sturdy as clay that gets hardened in a kiln. So out of 24 hands, like 7 of them definitely had broken fingers. So it's not like perfect, but you can glue it and it's not a big deal. Afterwards, the students paint it with acrylic paint. We then do a gloss varnish over it. We learn how to mix skin tones. Some students wanted to make like zombie hands, so there's like a green hand in there. I personally think they look better not painted, but the kids really enjoy painting them. These are some examples of the finished product. I had a student make like these clay Bible tablets, which I thought was like really cool. His dad's a pastor, so he was very into that. And then I've had other students make like kind of monster-y looking hands. And it was interesting to see the kids that like wanted to push themselves and like really add more versus the ones that wanted to keep it really simple.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
I like the big hand, little hand.
Yeah. Big hand, little hands is cute. I have students do a self-assessment at the end of the unit. We create a rubric together before they start making their artwork, so they know what I'm looking for. They grade their own artwork, and at the end, students also have a bit of a reflection where there's a critique. We use the ladder of feedback, and they'll talk about what they like about the other students' artwork, what they can change. They answer reflection questions, what was challenging, how can you improve your craftsmanship, what did you discover working with clay? And I can put a link to this, and I'm also going to do, Abby, the longer version the other day. But if you get linked to this presentation, I have all the materials, I have pictures of storage, and a lot of like tips to use, and a page of resources that has videos, educator guides, discussion questions, the actual unit plan, and resources that you can print out, like the vocabulary chart. And that's it.
Done. Excellent. Yeah, I did want to add that Lara has volunteered to do a session for us for the club. I don't have my calendar right in front of me at this moment, but do you remember the date?
I think it's the 18th.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, next week, the 18th.
Yeah. So we can look forward to working with her on her workshop stuff. That was great. Thank you.
Thanks, Lara. Lara, do you have any of those links to some of that material, like the lesson or anything? Did you give out any links during the workshop, or?
Everybody got a link to the presentation, so they're able to click
Well,
on
if you'd like to put it in the chat here, then if anybody here wanted to, pick it up and work on ideas that you started here, that would be great.
Yes, I can put the link to the entire presentation from Nysata that has more stuff in it.
Oh, that's great. Your workshop ties in closely to what I'll discuss later, which is cultural appreciation versus appropriation. And the one thing that struck me right away on your first slide is the connection to authentic resources, which is so important when we do this kind of work, not to just do it in a vacuum or just do it void of any cultural respect and actual authentic artwork that we see, and not just stereotypical artwork, but artwork that is contemporary and part of what's happening now within the culture. So thanks, Lara. That's fantastic. Great job. Looking forward to seeing you again.
Yes, thank you.
And I'll ask the question again, and let's see who's eager to go next. Anybody want to? Zoe, kind of almost. Yeah, she did that thing in school where like, oh, yeah. Great, Zoe. Hi. It was great to meet you. We kind of found out about you at the last minute. Somebody dragged you on, like,
Yeah.
she's from New York. She's at the UFC. Like, Zoe, come on. You could get drinks and you could get part of your workshop at least financed. I'm glad we met you. And why don't you take the floor? Stephanie will set the clock for you.
Likewise. Thank you so much. It was really nice to meet you all. Yeah, so I'll share my screen. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Nope, we see Native American.
No, I see creative reuse and sustainability.
is it possible that you clicked on that link and that's still just what's
that's
for?
fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, so I have been working a lot this year, actually for ever since I started teaching art with this idea of creative reuse. I love materials for the arts. It was really cool to see a little shot of the interior here. It's just a passion of mine. I also think kids naturally gravitate towards creative reuse. You know, like I gave this example of if you give a kid like a water bottle, like what are they going to do? They're going to like flip it, turn it into a game. They're going to scrunch it and crunch it. And, you know, so it's a really great thing to capitalize on their natural interest in this world of creative reuse. So over the years, I've done things with like materials, natural objects, leaves, plastic bottles, recycled paper, loose parts. But I wanted to focus in on one area to make it not so overwhelming. So for my presentation, I focused on cardboard and specifically some strategies that would help students have tools to actually like harness this amazing material and know what to do with it, you know, like have some building blocks to create with cardboard. Because I find that if you give kids a few things to grasp onto, they'll really run with it. So there are these 7 basic techniques for attaching cardboard. And they're all really awesome in their own way and they do different things. But for this workshop, I focused in on these 4 techniques. I find them just super like high impact and useful in different ways. So I created a little less than 1 minute, like a 30-second video demonstrating each technique. So it's just my hands showing how to do these different techniques. So there's brass fasteners, which creates a moving part. Using tape as a way to create like prisms. So like connecting corners in a way that you can create like a triangular prism or a rectangular prism, which is a great building block. Using slots to create a glueless attachment, and then using these tabs which can create all kinds of different really strong bases. Then after showing the videos, I'm kind of talking about what I did in my presentation, but also how I would present it in a class. So I did this as a station activity and I had kids try out each attachment technique in a low stakes way, just kind of try it out. And then I gave different classes different options for what they could do with these building techniques. So one of the assignments that was really a hit with my students was to design a trophy for someone in your life that you care about. So we started off by just looking at different examples of trophies and thinking about what they have in common, and then drawing our own. And we kind of started to think about like some of these examples of trophies that we looked at, we could tell something about the person that they were for just by looking at them, you know, like a reading award or like a soccer trophy. So we started thinking about how we could use these techniques in a way that would help us design a trophy that wasn't just any old trophy, but really specific and special for the person that we're giving it to. And that was just really fun for my students. And they designed some beautiful things. I also included not student work of my own students, but some of the participant work from the Nysata workshop because they were really amazing. And I think it gives you just a sense of what a flexible, accessible material this is, like how much you can do with it. These were some of my favorite trophies. So this one on the left was the person who designed it, made it for his partner who rides like dirt bikes. So it's a little hard to see, but he like created this replica of his partner riding a dirt bike, and it actually had a movable part. I don't know how I'm doing on time. I feel like I'm talking really fast.
You got 1 minute left.
Perfect. Yeah, so it's a wonderful material, not only because it has so many uses, but because it's free, it's accessible, it's environmentally friendly. It's a way to get kids excited about reusing materials, about reducing their waste. And it's also a way to
Wonderful.
provide more access to art for students who like may not have much money for art supplies at home. So that was my workshop.
That is great.
You know, Zoe and Mario and everyone, if I may, I'd love to go next because what you did and what I did are kind of connected, and I actually have done a bunch of stuff through the years with cardboard. I can send it along someday. But yeah, I agree.
Great.
And it's so minimalist. But you can do so much with it. So that's cool.
I think that was great, Zoe. You did a great job. I started doing workshops way early. The great thing about doing workshops when you just begin teaching is like you're not jaded. You don't care. It's just idealistic, and it's like I used to see older teachers come to my workshops and just like, what's the matter with them? It's great to have optimism, and we still have lots of older teachers who are still not down and do some great things too. But it's so great to see you sharing with everybody. And the great thing about doing workshops is that you get when you have workshops and you have a room full of art teachers, you'll get the best exemplars back because they're just so super creative. As a bunch, you'll have great stuff that you could take back to your own classes and share. And like, look what these people made, and motivate them. So thanks so much. I guess without ado, if there's no objection, Curtis wanted to
Yeah, okay.
feedback. Is
Thank you, Mario.
everybody good? Yes.
Sure, thank you. I've had some computer issues, so this may work, it may not work. If it doesn't work, I'll just show you pictures on my phone, okay? I redid my password, my DOE password last night, and something happened, something not good. So I can't get my email anymore. So I'm gonna try and share my screen. What's that? Okay, that's not good. Okay, desktop.
And I think we are at the 8 o'clock hour, which leaves us about 30 minutes, and there's 5 of us. So we're looking at that 5 to 6 minute range right now. Tell us when 5 minutes is up, Steph.
Okay.
Okay. Fine.
I know.
No pressure, Curtis. No pressure.
Thank you. Thank you. No, actually, okay. Don't need them for preferences. Hold
Is there a link you could put on the chat box?
on. I'm trying to find. Yeah, that's the thing. Oh, wait. Here we go. Can you see these?
No, we see you.
Did you hit the screen share button yet?
Let me do that. I thought I did. I guess not. Give me a second. Oh, it's okay, boys and girls. It's panicking. Okay, share. Okay, here it is. Yeah. So I hit that. I see it says desktop, and then share. Allow Zoom. Open system preferences. Okay. Okay. All I see are desktop.
If you go into our Zoom meeting, at the bottom of your screen, there's like a neon green button that says share screen.
Right.
And
I got that.
yeah. Okay. And then just select the screen, the tab that you want to share.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's not working.
Is there a
I'm in
link?
my system
That-
preferences.
Curtis, do you have a Mac by any
Yeah, I
chance?
have. It's a Mac desktop.
Yeah, if you go to the system preferences, you're gonna
Right.
have to, on the lower left-hand side, you can press unlock so that the Zoom part is highlighted and then press Zoom.
Okay. That's what I don't see. I'm on system preferences. I don't want to take up a lot of time with this. It's not there.
Curtis, you're gonna have to work this out before your full hour and a half presentation.
I guess so. Does someone else want to go instead, and then I can try and figure this out?
Yeah, maybe that would be best. Okay,
Okay.
Jessica? Hi.
I can go next while he figures
Okay,
it
go
out.
ahead, Jess.
All right. Let me just make sure I've got it all set here. Present. Okay. So my here we go. Oh, can you see my screen or no? Am I
No.
not sharing yet? Okay.
Not yet.
Sorry. It has been a hot minute. Here we go. Okay. Hopefully this works out well. It's a Canva presentation. Can you see that?
Yep, we
Yes.
got it.
Okay. All right. So oh gosh, I lost it. This is really a hold on, I'm sorry. Let me share it another way. It is a learning curve, right? It's been
Yeah.
so long. Here we go. Okay, I'll just show it to you in this manner. It's a little easier for me to see. So my presentation was just talking about my digital art classroom. I teach middle school 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And my students, the way our school works is our students take visual, digital, music, dance, and then for 7th and 8th grade they kind of major in one of those 4 arts. So I have my students for 7th and 8th grade, so they have a little snippet of me in 6th grade, a little sampling, and then we go into deeper dives in 7th and 8th grade. So what we do a lot of is photography, Photoshop, and Illustrator. So these are just a few examples of what my 6th grade curriculum is like. So we use this program called Shapegrams, which is really incredible. It's $35 for an entire year subscription. This guy makes these like little corny videos. My kids, like, they love them, but they hate them, because they're kind of corny. But like what it does is it takes Google Drawing and breaks it into shapes, and you can create so many different things. And this is just kind of like my entry level for my 6th graders. Because they do come with examples and videos and extension activities, and I can adapt it for different abilities. So for this example here, they had a little house. I said, build this house. And some kids are like, well, can I do more than that? And these are some examples of what they go with. So like we just give them some basic building blocks, and then they roll with it and create their own ideas from these shapegrams. We do photography with the 6th graders. So these are just a few examples of that. We head into Photoshop, where they do scratch art, they do create a new MO, and they combine photography and Photoshop with this cartoon and me. So they have to put themselves in there in the project, and they design everything around them. My 7th graders, again, photography, Photoshop, Illustrator, we do it like on a fall and then a spring. That's kind of how it work it, fall and spring. And these are some of the projects that we focus on. So we have a deep dive with our photography. I have a teaching artist who comes in and works with me. I work with the diversity lens, the joy of giving something. And these are just some of the works that they created this year. Diversity Lens is a citywide program. So if you have a photography program in your school, please reach out to me. I can hook you up with this group. They're amazing. And then they show the work at the Tweed Courthouse, which is really incredible. My favorite project that my students just finished is the Carol Romero doll boxes. Carol Romero is a an indigenous photographer, and she designs these giant doll boxes where these women from different tribes from around California will come and they'll stand and get photographed in the boxes. The border is represents their culture and all the things in their box, and their traditional wear, the things they're wearing are all related to their tribe. So she does a series of these doll boxes, and my students do the same thing with the doll boxes where they photograph a person. We collaborate with our social studies teacher. So if you've ever gone to the Ticket for Two, this was inspired by that. The Ticket for Two is where social study teachers and art teachers come together. So in social studies they did an interview with somebody, and then we brought it into the art where they photographed the person, they added the objects, and then the border is items relates to the story that was told.
I
So
love that.
I'll go quicker. Illustrator, they do a lot of illustrating in using Adobe Illustrator. So these are just some examples. This is one of our final things. They create a cereal box. We do cut it out and put it together. Final project is to create a game board. 8th grade, again, photography. This work was was displayed in Times Square, which was pretty awesome because it was in PS Art. I was pretty excited about that. And then this is the project we end with our 8th graders in photography. We look at movie stills. So we look at a few different photographers, and then the students learn about lighting techniques and photograph their own movie still. I think I have like maybe a minute.
You have 1 minute left, yeah.
Yeah, we work in Illustrator. So this is actually a project they're currently working on right now. This is from last year. They have to make monsters, and then this is the monster. Then we are inspired by Candy Wiley. So they photograph their partners. They take the photograph into Illustrator. They illustrate the entire thing. They create the background, and we print it. So it's got this Candy Wiley style to it. So everything you see here is 100% illustrated by my students. And their final project is creating food trucks. So they have to come up with everything from the ground up, the menu, where's their food truck located? They have to come up with a logo, the menu, like what are they serving? And then they design it all, we cut it out, build it, and that is my year.
That is fantastic. Yeah, love that.
I saw some people with food trucks at the conference. Was that from your workshop, or that was a different somebody else doing food trucks? It was
Yeah,
a lot of people love just designing food trucks. It's something that's catching on in our culture. Jessica, that's a fantastic overview. I'm ashamed to say I don't know how to do Photoshop. It's something that maybe I should just come to your class and sit in and
yeah, come on
and it
in.
would be great if you decided to do something like more in depth and share it with Art Club. Let Stephanie know, because is it something that you could just teach like teachers, like ancient dinosaur teachers, how to even begin?
Yeah, I mean, you all have access to the Creative Cloud in Photoshop. If you're a DOE teacher, it's free. So
Not retired teachers. Not retired.
But yeah,
thank you. That's fantastic. And listen, if there's any questions or anybody had any comments as we're going, just please feel free to jump in.
You mentioned a membership or a subscription for 1 year for the Illustrator type program.
Yes, it's called shapegrams.com, and it's $35, and they give you all these pre-made lessons in Google Drawing, so it's accessible to anybody. If you're using a Chromebook, it's perfect for that. And
is there a licensing issue with that, or is it just for you and then you give the kids access to the program?
Yeah, so he makes like a Google Drawing slide, I guess that's what you call it. It's a Google Drawing thing, and then you make a copy of it.
Okay.
And then you're able to
Give them
Yeah,
access.
yeah, give them access.
Got it. Okay.
Thanks. Thank you, Steph. Curtis, you think you worked it out?
No, I haven't. I'm on the security and privacy to be able to record, ask for for me to allow for screen recording, and I'm trying to do that and it won't let it do it. My computer is kind of older and I've been having some issues there. The least I can do is flip through some pictures on my phone.
How does that work? You're just gonna hold your phone up to us?
I guess I'm gonna have to because this isn't working.
Let's see how that looks.
Okay, we will try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Get it.
Okay.
Hold on.
This was dinner one night. It's very good.
No, it's very fuzzy.
Very fuzzy.
Back,
Yep.
maybe you need to
No.
back it up. So let's see if it
No.
picks. No, come
No,
close.
I'm sorry. It's just, can I summarize instead?
Sure, sure.
I'll just do it.
We're cutting down your time, Curtis, because you wasted
Oh,
valuable
oh.
time with your lack of technology skill.
Well,
have
it's my
I
it's
was
my
bad without being able
computer.
to Photoshop.
No, the computer was doing something. It wasn't me. I've done this many
I
times
know.
before.
I'm sure you'll be ready for when you do your full workshop.
Yeah, I think is it the second?
All right, well, let's go up. Go ahead. Just tell us what magic paper is all about.
So, basically what we did, this was a project I did a few years ago with my dual language, English, Spanish class. They were fourth graders. And, I'm a very big in my art lessons on art history. And, I'm really love a lot of the things that came out of the 60s. And, I found by focusing on minimalism was a very big help for my kids. My school, it's a Title I school. There are lots of shelters around my school, and a lot of the times I have to really differentiate my instruction a lot, and I have to simplify things. Not all the time, but a great deal of the time. So we started using strips of cardstock paper. I had tried regular paper, but it's not strong enough. And we basically started making shapes. We saw a lot of art history, a lot of use of minimalist art. When we first made the project, they did not stand up, even though the one I made stood up. A lot of theirs didn't, and it took a while to figure out that the bases just were not strong enough. So
I think you need to get a page from Zoe's book.
guess so.
Some great base work.
So what we did, and this is through a lot of trial and error, is we did a whole lesson on the use of balance. And one of the things we did, and this is what I'm planning to do, even if I just present it during my the February 2nd, I think, presentation, is using just junk in your classroom. Like I found boxes, bottles, pencil holders, things like that. And the point is to try and figure out how to make the base of your building strong, because the reason the buildings didn't work as well the first time is because we found out was that the base was not strong enough. So by using these things, and even books, we experimented and we discovered how to use things, objects, light objects, heavy objects, to make a strong base of a building. And then from there, we made our bases. And it went extremely well. In fact, all three of the three pieces that I chose were accepted into the Bronx Borough Arts Festival. And that was a great thing. And especially for our school, because that's never happened to us before. So everyone was really proud of that. So what we did was we then actually started we made them, and they came out very well, and I don't have pictures of that. As far as the conference went, it exceeded my expectations. The work that the people did there was just amazing. There was stuff I didn't even think of, that my kids didn't even think of. And that was very, very inspiring because they just the participants, they just kept going. It was 90 minutes. There were like 31 people or something like that. And it was just great because they kept discovering things. And what was one of the things I found is I have a very favorite quote from good old Jasper Johns. And he says, take an object, do something to it, do something else to it. And I use that quote with my kids. I have it up in my classroom. So that was something I wanted to get across. It was also exciting because a lot of the participants had said to me that, you know, they wanted to continue this and do this with their own students because it's very basic. You can do this with kindergartners, which I have. They just do basic shapes. And I go kindergarten through 5th grade. So the 5th graders were able to get even more complicated with it. The upper grades were. So I'd love to do this. I'd love to do this more. I'd love to go to colleges and other conventions and just keep doing. I was very, very inspiring. I didn't expect it would go as well as it did. I was positive about it, but I didn't know it would go that well. So I was very happy with it. It was great to the whole thing, the whole Nysata conference was great. Just meeting people that I didn't know as well, and just, you know, relaxing. I just had a really great time. So
Thanks,
that's my spiel.
Curtis. Thank you. I can't imagine that you don't have just some photographs of samples, because, you know, we are art teachers. We like to visualize when people are talking. Aren't you going to have some photographs of some of the?
Yeah, I have everything. Everything's on my phone, and we can't see anything on my phone, and I can't.
You know, your laptop, you don't have access to like your photos, just some
all
random
I
photos?
have is my phone and my desktop. I don't have a laptop.
Maybe you can share the link to your presentation for us, like everybody has done.
Okay.
And we can be able to see it on our own time afterwards.
Okay.
I'm thanking everybody for sticking with us. The hour and a half is going quickly. I think we may have to add a few more minutes, maybe try to end at 8:35 if that's okay. I hope so. I know some people had to leave. It's unfortunate, but I'd like us to stick around and listen to each other if we can. It's just once a year, and I thank you all for staying with us. So Dahlia, why don't we go with Dahlia, and then Stephanie, and then I'll make it quick to round everything off. I think that's where we are at, right? Hi, Dahlia, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Let me just share my screen. And can you guys see it? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
You work in Corona.
I work in Corona, and what I wanted to do is have a project where students can collaborate and also be inspired by their community. So what I did is I tried to get them talking about their homes and about their neighborhood. And we looked at different pictures of different neighborhoods, and we talked about what their homes look like, what their area looked like, what specifics about their homes, their neighborhood that they noticed, how it compares with other homes, other neighborhoods. And basically, like, I just asked a ton of questions to get them really thinking about it, because a lot of the kids, when they think of their homes, they'll think of, oh, I live in a castle, you know, I have heart-shaped windows and stuff like that. And so I really want them to think about the place that they live. But then also, like, it's up to them to create their own idea of where it is that they live. So one of the big things that we do is we look at Google Maps, and we put in their specific addresses so that they could compare their actual homes with their depiction of their homes. So we have some kids actually looking at it, and this is like an example of somebody's actual home and their rendition of their home. This project I normally do with my first graders. So when we make the collage, as I mentioned, the kids start with their homes. We just have like a big piece of brown paper, and they're really the ones who are in charge of putting it together. and laying the groundwork. And a lot of times they're apprehensive about just going forth and doing that. And that's like what I want to do. I want to empower them to do their own thing and like know that, you know, whatever they make, that's awesome. This is their artwork. So it's great because they're young, they don't hesitate as much. They're not afraid to just glue it down, which I absolutely love. These are some kids with their homes. The next thing we do is we talk about transportation. One of the big things is the 7 train, which is an elevated subway, which is right in the area. So we talk about the transportation, how they get to school, what forms of transportation they see, and each child will add a different form of transportation to this big collage. The next thing they create themselves. I'm trying to go fast, sorry. So they create themselves, and then they also create people in their community who they see. And then they just kind of bring it all together. They glue it on. Usually there's a few kids who become the leaders, and they're the ones who just like take charge and will tell the other kids, oh, okay, this would look great here. We add on roads, and we add signs, stop signs, any kind of signs. Usually we have a lot of traffic lights. So we just go with that. Then we like try to add like very specific places in the area. Like we have the Queen Zoo is right there. We have the New York Hall of Science, Flushing Meadow Corona Park. So they'll like usually add stuff like that.
Does anybody do the lemon ice king?
Yes, I have had kids do the Lemon Ice King, and I've had kids who live right next to the Lemon Ice King. And so that was like the kid who he's like, I'm making my home and I'm making that Lemon Ice King. Yes. So this is kind of an example of one. This was one that wasn't quite done by the time I presented, but they included the bridge too, which was kind of cool. This was their subway.
Nice.
This is another one. And so, yeah, also usually we get a lot of airplanes because we have, the airport is right near us. And then the last thing that the kids do is, they name it. So, the name that just really stuck with me is, one group of kids, they named it My Corona. My last group named it Our Neighborhood Corona, a super special place to visit and live. And I thought it was just really cool. And just I wanted to inspire students to have a sense of pride in their work and a sense of belonging in their community and just feel great about creating artwork.
Fantastic. I love
That was
seeing
great.
younger kids work. My commendations working with the younger. I was middle school my whole life, and people think it's crazy, but it's the youngest kids that scared me. So
Oh, really?
fantastic.
I've never worked with middle school kids. They scare me. I have a
I
middle schooler, so.
Believe
I
it or
started.
not, my first year teaching, I did something very similar in for Far Rockaway, and I taught in a high school level, and the kids at the high school level loved doing this. They got into it, and the details were great. And they did the gas stations, and they did, you know, the corner stores, and it was all just really, really awesome. I love all that.
You can easily adapt this to K or any level.
Yeah.
My first teaching job was at the Louis Armstrong Middle School in Junction Boulevard, and I still live close by. So yeah, so that's great that you're in the neighborhood. And if you ever want to help out with any other things and be involved in Nysata, just reach out to us, and please continue doing workshops. And love to see more of you and everybody else in future. This has been a great meeting. We're gonna close off with Steph and myself, and then wish everybody a great night. And maybe we'll talk briefly about plans for next year. If who's planning on continuing to present, and what you liked about the conference, how you thought it went. But Stephanie, you did a lot. You did 2 workshops, plus you helped on my workshop. So you really had your hands in a lot. And why don't you begin? I know time is tight. I think everyone wants to know, what is a super session and how do you get one? Well, what did you call it?
Extended workshop.
Uh-huh.
So I last year, not 2023, but 2022 was the first time that I had presented at the Nysata conference. And I happened to do that because I was doing it anyway. And then I got awarded the Teacher of the Year for Region 8, which completely came out of left field. So I was busy the whole weekend with the awards dinner, and then I was doing 3 hands-on workshops that weekend, and I swore I would never do that again. That was a lot of work. But last year, or in November rather, I did 2, and then I helped Mario with his. So that was the coil baskets, which I did, and believe it or not, I learned how to do coil baskets through a presenter for our club who did it for us, I want to say 3 years ago. And I just loved it. I did it with my students. It took off like crazy. It's very soothing. Like when they're working on it, you can't hear a pin drop in the classroom. So I don't have a sample. I'm sorry. I've been homesick all week, so I didn't get to bring anything home from the classroom on the coil baskets. But the other one was the extended workshop. You have to apply for every workshop that you want to do, or any presentation. And the extended workshops are different than the regular hands-on workshops because you have an additional hour, plus you get some kind of stipend for your expenses, where the regular workshops at the conference, you don't. It's all kind of on a volunteer basis. So the extended one that I did was on stress dolls. This was my sample that I did. I had about 20, 25 people in the class.
Did they pay? Is it a ticketed workshop then because it's extended?
Yes, I believe people had to pay for the extended workshops. Because I paid for an extended workshops that I attended also. Zach and I'm sorry.
Okay.
Zach was a participant with his friend also in this workshop, and it was a lot of fun. I went through step by step. I helped everybody with the stitches of the patterns, and they got to pick the fabric, and it was such a great sense of not just art making for us, because I think we get so involved in the pedagogy and all the checklists that we have to go through on a daily basis that we forget to give ourselves time to play. And I did do this with my students, and I loved doing it. And I actually sat down and I made one during the workshop as well. This was inspired by a post that I saw on Facebook where it was called Voodoo Dolls. And I knew that I couldn't do something called a voodoo doll at school because there's too many religious issues and whatnot. And even though I called it a stress doll, sure enough, I had 2 parents complain about it the week that the project was due. So I said, well, you should have told me sooner because now it's too late, you know. But I made it the stress dolls, and I had everyone identify the thing in their life that causes them the most stress. And then I had them either stitch it on or sew it on to a patch right in the chest. And so that would be a reminder that when this thing is stressing them out in with the kids, that they could just go and take their stress doll and like squeeze the stuffing out of it if they had to. A place to put their stress. And it was a hit. It really was. The kids loved it. If we had had more time than the 3 hours given, what I did with the students in my class was I had them make their own fabric. I gave everybody muslin, and they painted and colored it themselves. So it took a longer period, and they got to experience the full process of it. So they made their own fabric, and then they cut the dolls, and then everything was from scratch, and they really, really loved it. So, and I loved sharing this with everybody because everybody seems to just be drawn to these dolls. Like we're all full of stress right now. So it's a great project. And then I did help Mario with his presentation came to be because of a situation that happened with me with one of the sessions in the club, where I had a friend of mine who did a session called dot painting. And before we even ran the session, her promo was that it was inspired by
Aboriginal?
Thank you. My brain is just not working. I'm sorry. Aboriginal art. And we hadn't even run the session, and I'm getting phone calls that people are concerned about appropriation. Like, what are you complaining about? I haven't done anything yet. And the irony is that I had told Mario months before that this was becoming a real problem, with people being, thinking they're the police of what art teachers are and are not entitled to be able to do in their classrooms and teach the kids. So this session like kicked off a whole conversation. And during the first part of that session, we discussed appreciation versus appropriation, and that we are the ones who are responsible for teaching the art of these other cultures. That is our job and our responsibility, to open every student's eyes to the world and the art of the world, and not just what is in their own little corner of the universe. And in no way are we creating anything that has anything to do with appropriation. We're not making money off of anything we do. We are educating. So from that, Mario did his presentation based on that whole experience. And we haven't had any complaints since, by the way, because the week after we did the actual session, which was a really, really lovely presentation, and the project was a hit. So, and with that, I'm going to turn off my voice and hand it over to Mario.
Thank you, Stephanie. And I'll be very brief. And just to say, once the issue came up as a advocacy group for a professional development group for the UFT, it was important that we address the situation. Any issues that come up in the classroom, whether it's how do I get more supplies, or how do I get the people from, curbing like incidents in the classroom, and anything like that, it's always something you could bring up to us, and we could also work with the UFT to see if it's an issue that they can be involved with. But if you go to our website, nysata.com, you'll see on the tablet, on the laptop or desktop, you'll see in this way. In the phone, it's just a little bit lower. Cultural appreciation versus appropriation. We, with discussion with many others, came up with a position paper. And if you hit on our website here, that's the easiest way to find it. Let's see if it opens. It's now downloaded, and actually I could just go to it. I have it already here. And here is our position paper, which I will allow people to read on their own. But basically, it states that we incorporate many different things into making art, and teaching about culture and history in respectful ways is part of it. Otherwise, we succumb to people that say, well, we just should teach Western European art and things that we don't feel threatened by. But we should be able to branch out and introduce multiple cultures and techniques in our classroom, just to allow children to experience and see that. The same way we don't have to worry about copyright as strictly as, say, somebody in the commercial field. When we're teaching with materials that may be copyrighted, we need to understand that we can teach a culture, but at least have ways for teachers to think about how they're doing it. And if you read this paper, we have a very simple 2-page paper about following guidelines and resources, respectfully teach origin, significance, meanings, seek to differentiate between stereotypes of a culture's art form versus authentic, traditional, and historical art forms, and be mindful of how many non-dominant cultures have historically been marginalized, and strive to introduce students to the culture struggle, along with their spiritual, practical, and personal implications of their symbols. And then take that as a basis, along with many other things you may motivate your class for what you're doing. The second page is on resources, and this is what my workshop dealt with. We went through each of these, the NAEA policy on this, and this is all part of our research for this page. from the Art of Education. They have an excellent link here. Again, find it all on this page on our website. Anti-Racist Art Teacher is an excellent site. And I switched to it without knowing. How do I get back to where I was? Go back. Yes. Sorry. There it is. The anti-racist, and actually I'm going to end with a lesson from there. And then we actually reached out to Aboriginal cultural centers in Australia to get their viewpoints and get the idea of what they thought. One of the best things we did is that when we make the statement of respect for Indigenous people, which many people throughout the art world and everything are now realizing that it's important to make this at least some statement of respect and acknowledgement to the custodians of the lands, of the people whose work that you're using. And it's something to think about including within, like, say, a bulletin board or something when you're displaying your student artwork based on other cultures. And there's a whole series of questions here. But I will get back to the anti-racist art teacher site. I do recommend that. It's a great site that's really pushing the envelope on this topic and allowing people to see many different ways that they can approach teaching about different cultures without being fearful that they're going to be somehow being accused of appropriating, rather than introducing and appreciating the cultures, the rich cultures that make up all the influences that students should have. It was one lesson on this page, and it came from a 5th grade teacher, Chloe Walker, and it was appropriation versus appreciation. So I will end by seeing if I could briefly go through this. You could see the questions. You could use this in a classroom yourself if you were to do this, start thinking about this as a topic for discussion with your students. And right now it should be going to the next slide. It should be going. Okay, good. Now it's right. Has someone ever copied something you did? How did it make you feel? How would you feel if someone took something from you and said they made it? Art is often part of a group's traditions. What traditions do you and your family have? What is appropriation versus appreciation? At the conference, I didn't have sound, but I think I've mastered it now. So let's just give a quick listen to this if it works. Let me know if you can hear me.
Here's how you tell the difference between cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. You're not Japanese, but you love wearing kimonos because you love how it makes you look and how it makes you feel. Well, that's okay. Wearing a kimono that's made by Kim Kardashian because it's a play on her name is just so clever. Wearing a full face of geisha makeup with the costume to take some nice photos to send to your friend Hiruka who lives in Japan because she would love it. Well, you look really good. Wearing full geisha makeup with outfit to go to a costume party for your friend Amanda's birthday and you picked out an Asian name for yourself. Wearing a full face of geisha makeup with outfit because ever since you moved to Japan to understudy with real geishas, you've become the first ever foreign geisha in the town of Obama. Well, you're amazing. Wearing a full face of geisha makeup with outfits so you can play Sayuri in your school's production of Memoirs of a Geisha, even though you're not Japanese or even Asian.
So interesting little video there, and the whole. How do I get to the next slide? Well, and the lessons continue with these questions like what makes art important to a person's group or identity? What is identity? There's another video just on that. It's a lot longer, so I won't play it now. How can we make connections to other art pieces without appropriating their culture? And here's some example of Native American artwork that more than just jewelry and baskets. Contemporary artists, some quotes. How can we make connections to other art pieces without appropriating their culture? What do we need to know when making art? And some examples here of clever adaptation of George Washington crossing the Delaware. And how is this not appropriating the colonial fabrication of George Washington's crossing the Delaware? And which we know was not historically accurate by any means anyway, but a great painting, one of my favorites. But this is a great compare and contrast for students. And this painting, which is whitewash, about how superheroes are portrayed to a young here portrayed as an young African American boy with the word wow, and it's how at the point when why are all superheroes one from one dominant culture, and that's changing, which is great. How do we know? What do we know about art from blank? And then it just goes on from there. So I'm going to stop share. I will say, please, the whole page and the whole and all the the workshop is basically going through all these links. It's a wealth of information. Take it and use it how you need it, but it's just there to kind of defend the idea that the art teachers and being censored is something that we need to understand that we cannot allow in our classrooms, and having a wide open mind and diversity of ideas is really the thing that makes us good art educators. So stop my share and say it's 8:42. I'm going to say thank you for those of us who stayed on. And Zach, are you still there? Did you get lots of material? And Curtis, thank you. Please work on your thing. Lara, Dahlia, Sasha, thanks for visiting. And Kelly, thanks for visiting from abroad. Good luck in your states. And thank you, everybody. Hope to see people at future conferences. The National, if you're at Nationals, I think it's in Minnesota this coming year. If you're going to be around, please come by and say hi. You'll find us somewhere. Just look for our names from the New York City contingency. And does anybody have anything to say before we say
We'll see
goodnight?
Lara next week, before the conference. So Lara's next week, and Curtis, hopefully we'll get our technology together before the 2nd. He will do his presentation also from the conference, which will be great. And I am going to track down Jessica and ask her to present something from her digital presentation for us as well. So
thank you.
Hopefully I can connect with everybody. Dahlia, if you'd like to do your presentation, feel free to reach out. We would appreciate that. And thank you so much for joining us today. I know it takes a lot of juggling in our crazy busy schedules and being sick and making sure we all show up and whatnot, but that's what keeps us going, is a dedication to our craft and each other. So I appreciate you all for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye now.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Good night. Thank you, Stephanie. Feel better.
Night.
Thank you. Thank you.